We're going to take a quick look here how to disable a feature called peer firmware sharing. And what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to look at these two different phones I have registered to CUCM, and then I will go ahead and do a quick search for the peer firmware sharing. And if you notice, it's enabled on this phone, so peer firmware sharing. And then if I go back to the next phone and we do the same check, it's also enabled on the second phone. And the reason you may want to disable the peer firmware sharing is if you're attempting to do a firmware migration from enterprise to MPP, and if you notice a symptom where it appears that only one phone is migrating at a time and the other phones are actually in a reboot type of loop, this may be linked to peer firmware sharing, and you may want to disable it as a test run to see if it resolves that issue if you run into that issue. So what I'm going to do here is, in this case I only have two phones, but if you have a larger batch of phones, obviously changing the settings in each of the phones can be very time consuming. So we'll basically go into the bulk administration tool. And if you notice, both of these phones are 7841. So what I'll do is I'll go to bulk administration, phones, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go under update phones. We're going to do query. Here we're going to go ahead and use the actual model number 7841 as my search criteria, and then we're going to go ahead and select device type. We're going to say contains. We're going to click on find. Okay, so these are the two phones I have in my CUCM that I want to change the settings for the peer firmware sharing. I'm going to click on next. And then we're going to simply find here, and let me go ahead and also click apply config, and then we're going to go ahead and find the firmware peer sharing option. We're going to disable the peer firmware sharing option, and we're going to make sure the right and left side checkboxes are selected. And then we're going to go to the bottom. So we're going to run this immediately, and then we're going to go and submit this. Okay, we're going to go back to phones, find, and then we're going to go and select the first phone. We will do a search for the setting. And if you notice, the peer firmware sharing is disabled now. We're going to go back to the phones. We're going to select the second one, and we're going to search for the peer firmware sharing option. It is also disabled. So at this point of time, both phones should be prepped where the peer sharing option has been disabled. And you can go ahead and follow the firmware migration steps, either looking at one of the videos I've provided on my channel or looking at the upgrade.cisco.com site, which has a lot of very good step-by-step instructions, and go with the firmware migration. In any case, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully this helps you. Thank you.